back to source, I give you examples. We learn this in science in school, but most of the time we are not taught in detail. Okay? For example, the food that we eat. Okay, the food that we eat, is it energy? Yes. Is it energy?
Yes.
Oh, I agree with you. Now, the hand that takes up the food, is it energy?
Yes.
Right? You put it into the mouth, you chew, goes down into the body, energy. After you chew, go down, after the digestion process, you have two things coming out of it, right? One is you do work, it's energy. Another one that goes down to the toilet, it's also energy. Yes, it's also energy. Right? You can use it as fertilizer, yeah, for plants and vegetables. Plants and trees. Okay, plants and trees produce vegetables and fruits. Okay, vegetables and fruits. Who eats these vegetables and fruits? Human beings, or an animal eats that, and then we end up eating the animal. Again, you notice something, the same food comes back as the same food. You see, they are always going round and round. That's why science says energy is neither created nor destroyed. That means all the energy that we need is already here. All the money that you need is already here. All the happiness that you need is already here. And guess what? All the sadness that you need is already here. Let me give you an example. You wake up in the morning, right? You're feeling so good, everything great, and then you put this really sad song into your song, your car, CD, and you listen to this sad song on the way to work. What happens to you? You become sad. By the time you come into the office, people look at you. What happened to you? Frost. What are you frost about? I don't know. I listened to this song. Old memories came back. Remember, living in the moment. Most of the time, people will be living in the past or the future, right? So what is happening right now is all the energy that we need is already here. It's up to you to choose which energy that you want. So neither created nor destroyed. Why? Because it's always just changing form. It is just changing form. That's all it's doing, nothing else. Right? If you can figure this out, you will understand that there is something which is called infinite at work. Infinite. That means there's no limit to it. That means you want $1 million, you get $1 million. If you want $1 billion, there are people who have $1 billion, right? There are people who don't have anything and they're complaining everything. And looks like all the problems in the world is on top of them. Right? Because they look for problems, they'll find problems. Are we okay? Okay? So it's always going round and round. Even the Earth, you notice something is going around something like this, right? The Earth is going around the Sun. The Sun is going around the Milky Way galaxy. Right? Milky Way galaxy is going around the whole universe. There are billions and billions and hundreds of billions, and they've lost count really. They thought they have found it, but they say no, it seems to be just expanding. That means all the energy is all here. So far, we're okay, right? Now, the problem is, okay, rain, sunshine, drops to the ground eventually because of light, sunlight, goes back up into clouds become heavy, then goes back down. See, it's all a cycle. It looks very simple. The problem is understanding it. See, they teach us this in school, in the physical world. The truth is, in the emotional world, it works the same way. If you're the type of person who's always emotional, negative, angry, frustrated and all that, you know what's strange thing? The more angry you are, the more angry people you meet. Think about it. Yeah? The more emotional you are, you meet more emotional people. You see what goes around comes around. In the intellectual world, it also works the same way. If you're the type who's very intellectual, you study this, you study that, and all kind of things and all that, what kind of people that you meet? You end up meeting the same type of people. If you're the egoistic type of person, you meet the similar type of people. It's now you'll be fighting whose ego is bigger. Right? Now, if you are the spiritual type of person, guess who you will meet? Spiritual people. That's the way it goes. What goes around comes around. Now, I'm going to share with you an experience, how nature works. If at one point of time you make a mistake, all right, and you have not corrected the mistake, it will always come back again and point to you the same mistake, but it will become bigger. All right? What happens is, let's say you have hurt somebody's feelings, all right, or you have done something seriously wrong. Okay, this happened to me. Okay, I'm sharing with you. Right? These are some of the things that has happened in my life, which I feel is about time for me to share. Right? Some of you may have heard of this before, some of you may have not. During the time when I first came out with my business, when I was 18 years old, I wanted to be a millionaire. By the time 23, I was a millionaire. Right? I wanted to be a millionaire in 5 years, so I hit the mark in 5 years. Right? But along the way, I must tell you something. I didn't do the right things. All right? I did some things which are not right. Okay? I will share with you one of it. You see, the 18 to 23 is my point of time. I never learned anything. I just wanted to make the money. You know what I mean? There's some people, they just want to make money, nothing else. And then all the principle goes out, everything goes out. Although you learn about this in motivation courses, people tell you, wise people tell you, you still don't listen. Then at 24, guess what happened to me? I lost everything. I lost everything. That's how nature works. If you build something in a false way, in not real way, it will bring it down. And you'll bring you down even further than what you were before. And then if you start learning the lessons, it'll rebuild you back. Okay, what happened is, one of the examples that I can give is this. At that time, I was more interested to get my business to grow, so I had some competitors with me. So, okay, sure, businessman, you have some competitors. Now, the thing is, I always had the upper hand. You know why? I can drop my price whatever I like. I can just drop it like nobody's business. Okay? Now, what happened was that this particular project, which I had nothing to do, but I knew the people who can do this project. So what I did is I bid for the project. And then I had another competitor. I knew he's going to compete for that, so I purposely cut down the price. I don't mind losing, but I want the guy to die. You know what I mean? Die. That means I don't want him to do the business anymore. So because I felt that if I don't have competition, life will be beautiful. That's what people will say, right? But if you don't have competition, how are you supposed to grow? Am I right? Yeah, you need competition. So at that point in time, I cut the price, and one night he called me. The tender was about to close, right? I think the next 2-3 days or something. So he called me. Are you clear so far? You understand what's going on? Right, okay. So he called me, he said he wanted to talk to me. Alright? Now I don't practice under table and all that. I'm straight. Okay, I don't pay people money and all that. I don't do that. So this is the competitor calling me now, alright? Okay, I sat down for dinner and he said, he told me this, Elango, you know something? You don't need this business, right? But I need it, he told me. And he was like speaking from his heart. And he said he has 20 employees to take care of. If he doesn't get that business, he has to close down his company, right? He said, just let me have this, whatever else you want, you go ahead. At least I can let my employees grow, give them some money and all that with this project when it comes in. And you know what I did? What did I do? Come on. I was naive, you know, I was still growing up, you know, young blood. Not only I review, I said to hell with you. So guess what? I said to hell with you, right? So I must experience hell, right? Right? What goes around? Comes around, right? So guess what happened to me when I was 24? I lost everything, and I came even further down. I don't call it 6 feet underground. It's 6 feet underground. Put concrete on top of it. Make sure you don't get up. It was that bad. You see, what happens is the cycle is always there. You cannot run away from it. It will come and catch up with you. Somehow it will come and catch up with you. Some mistakes that you made, even before you have made the mistake, the coffin is already prepared for you. You know? Even before you do the right thing, the fruits are already there for you. This is how it works. Now, you notice something not only in physical world, but also the words that you speak and also the thoughts that you produce. That's how it actually works. Okay? Now, are we okay so far? Yeah? Right. Now, you'll always go around, and this is the most important part. You know, you take loan from the bank. Okay, you take loan from the bank, and you don't pay for some time. What happens? The interest grows. Okay, now think very carefully. Same thing over here. You make a mistake, you do not apologize, you keep it in your heart, you don't say to anybody whatsoever it is. Guess what? The interest grows. I only did this small mistake. How come I'm getting such a big problem? You know, they'll be thinking like that. Because by the time it comes back to you, you know, Earth, by the time it goes one big round and come back, it gathers all the dust, everything and all that, then it comes back. So it comes back with the interest. So you need to pay the interest. So that's why I always say, if you have done something wrong or something right, whatever it is, when it's something right, you say thank you immediately. If somebody says, you know, sometimes some people say, you know, you've done a fantastic job. And some people will say things like, no, I just say thank you. Learn how to accept. Right? Same thing over here. You do a mistake, correct it immediately. Don't wait. The cycle is always moving. So far, you okay? Yeah? And you know what happened to the guy? His company broke down, everything came off, and he had to like file for bankruptcy and everything. But you know, he's an amazing gentleman. I have a lot of respect for him. He didn't give up. He started back again. And guess what? He's doing far better than me today. That's the truth. You may think I'm doing really well. I may have millions and this and that, but he's doing far better. See, nature broke down everything for him and gave him something else to work on. Something beautiful. I still keep in touch with him. He's a good friend. Now, the cycle came back to me. All right? When I was 24, I lost everything. Okay? You see, nature tests you back again with the same cycle. Now, for those of you who have been with me for some time, today I'm teaching new stuff, all right? So you got to listen very carefully. It came back again. Remember, I had two partners. Those who know me very well, you know this thing, right? I had two partners with me. Because of the two partners, that's why I lost everything. But I don't blame them. You see, it's an agreement that I signed. I didn't read the fine print, so I lost everything. So when I started back again, that was somewhere in 95, 96, when I started back again, I started doing training programs, a lot of stuff I started to do, and I started to come back up, and I followed the laws exactly, okay? The process I will explain later. But came 97, 98. You see, in 98, you know what happened was, the South Asia economic crisis, Asian crisis, South Asia, okay? Asian crisis, right, took place. And guess what? All the business were going down the drain. And this particular business that I left, what happened to these two partners of mine? They also had the same problem. Guess what? After that, they came to look for me. Yeah, they actually came back to look for me. Then I remembered the cycle will always come back. You know, it took time. It took time, but they still came back. So when they came back, guess what they asked me? Please help, can you help to salvage this and all that? And my friends were telling me what? What were my friends telling me? No, these people are evil, they've done this thing to you. And then I looked at them and I said, listen, if they didn't do all this thing to me, I wouldn't have learned these lessons. Don't you get it? Whatever that happens to you is all for good. Whether it's good or bad, it actually turns out to be good. It depends on how you take it. So what I did was, okay, listen, what I did was I sat with them and I saw the situation of several, and all the contacts were still my friends, right? Because I'm a kind of person who have business relationship with people, they end up becoming my friends. I become close to them, I get to know them, that's the way I do it. So I call them up, listen guys, I need some favor, can you all do something for me in regards to this? So they helped out here, Next thing you know, in a crisis time, the company came back out. And I didn't take any single cent from them. After the whole thing came out, they were like astonished, and they told me that, they usual, I'm sorry, we didn't know you missed that, the same story. We should have sat down and thought about things, and can you please take back the share? We'll give you everything and whatsoever. What did I do?
You did think.
I say, listen, I did all these things not for that. I did all these things for the company to grow, not for you, because there are employees in the company. They need to survive, right? You are a part of my past. You taught me a great lesson. The money I can make, it's not the money. I'm not trying to show I'm good or what. It's learning to realize. Remember the song, Living in the... I felt good, why not? I could have done this. You know what I could have done? To hell with you again. Right, I can say that. Now if I had said that, you know what is going to happen? The cycle will come back to me again. Now I don't want to fall back. It's not easy. Going 6 feet underground with the concrete on top, it's not easy getting back up. You need phenomenal energy to get back up. So far we okay? Right. Get what I'm saying? What goes around comes around at different levels.